Hello friends, today we'll be discussing Jinnah's 14 points, the historic 14 points of Kaijus. Studying them, from the book, both learning them is a little difficult. It's a very laborious task, I can assure you that. But if you study it the way I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to guarantee that you're not going to forget this information. Okay? And it's going to become an easy task for you to memorize these 14 points. You'll have to, whether you're doing a CSS or for your intermediate or your O levels, you have to study these 14 points. And the tips that or the techniques that I'm going to introduce in my video today, they are going to help you a great deal. Okay, and now coming up with the Jinnah's 14 points, let's go back a bit. Jinnah's 14 points were introduced immediately after the coming of the Nehru report because Qaeda was not happy with the Nehru report. One, the Hindus had they had gone back on their own stance. They had accepted the Muslims' right to separate electorates in the Lucknow Pact. But when it came to Nehru report, they had gone back on their own stance, and now they were not guaranteeing Muslims the right to have separate electorates during elections. Secondly, Jinnah was insisting that the Muslims should be given at least one third of seats in the Central Assembly. But again, the Congress members, they had not accepted his demand, and therefore he had come up with these 14 points. And now, in January 1929, the All India Muslim League, they met in a conference in Delhi, and there it was decided that now Jinnah's 14 points will become the basis of any future discussions with the Congress. And Jinnah's 14 points became formally accepted by the conference in March 1929. So you can write here March 1929. That's it. Okay. Now I have made this entire points very pictorial, very colorful. The reason is our mind is like a small baby. We have to feed it instructions very carefully. The more pictorial and stepwise and colorful the set of instructions, the more the chances of retaining the information. So inshallah, as we move on, things will become very easy for all of you. So let us quickly start studying what were Qaida 14 points. Okay, so the first point is power will be distributed between the center and the provinces. That is, the future constitution will now be federal. When we use the word federal, it already means that the power will be distributed between the provinces and the center. And provinces would now be having no power. Okay, so the center will not decide anything on its own. Secondly, I'm trying to be as simple as possible so that all of you can understand. Okay, now the second point said that all provinces should have the same autonomy, same amount of power. Okay, no province will be more powerful than the other. So I put across here that is all provinces will have the same autonomy, right? The third point says that the legislatures and local in the legislatures and in the local bodies there'll be adequate representation of the minorities, whether it's a legislature or whether it's the local bodies. Okay, all of them will have adequate representation of the minorities, right? The fourth point said that Muslims will have around one third of seats in the Central Assembly. This was one point. This was the same point which Qaid Azam had asked the Congress to agree on, but it was not agreeing on this point. All right. So the fifth point said that the elections have to be by separate electorates, and this is one thing which the Hindus had agreed upon during the Lucknow Pact, but they went back on it in the Nehru report. So Quaid insisted that elections have to be by separate electorates. That is, the Muslims will have a Muslim only electorate, and the Hindus will have a Hindu only electorate or a voter, right? And the sixth point says that whatever territorial changes the government of India is trying to bring about, that territorial change should not affect the Muslim majority in any of these areas. That is Bengal, Punjab, and NWFT, right? So I don't think it's very difficult to understand. Then the seventh point said that full liberty of belief and worship should be guaranteed to all, no matter which community it is, whether it is the Muslims, Hindus, or any other community, Sikhs, or any other living in the state of India. And the eighth point said that no bill shall be passed. Okay, no law shall be passed if three-fourths of any community present in that body oppose it. Right? For example, this is the body. Okay. For example, let's say it's a local body, any local body. Okay, and there are four communities sitting in that local body, and three-fourths of just one community is against a law that is being talked about, or that is being tried to or which is being introduced. This if three-fourths of any community present in that body goes against that law, which is under discussion, then that law will not be passed. Then the ninth point said that Bombay will be separated from Sindh. The 10th point said that reform should be introduced in NWFP and Balochistan also, as they were being introduced in other provinces, meaning these two provinces should not be left behind. Then the 11th point emphasized that Muslims needed to have an adequate share in all the services. Okay, whether it was the army, whether it was civil services or other occupations, Muslims should have their share in all of these services. Then coming on to the 12th point, the Muslim culture, education, language, religion, charities, all of this should be protected by the constitution, meaning the constitution should guarantee protection of Muslim culture, education, language, religions, and charities. 13 points said that all the cabinets, whether it is in the center or in the provinces, should have one third of Muslim representation. Okay, so one third of Muslim representation in the central cabinets and also in the provincial cabinets. Then finally, the last point said that no change of law will be introduced without the consent of the provinces, without the provinces agreeing upon it in simple terms, right? The center cannot bring about any change in any law, okay, unless all the provinces are happy with it. Okay, I hope this has become clear. And see, if we learn it this way, I can guarantee you will not be able to forget it. Okay, keep this page in front of you, these pages in front of you while you're learning, while you're memorizing them, and when you're sitting for exams, these are the illustrations that will come into your mind, not the words that you wrote learn from your textbook. So if you study this way, inshallah, you will be able to retain it. Okay, so all the best to all of you who are doing this, and I'll be coming up with another video soon. Till then, you stay tuned and take care of yourselves and also of your loved ones. Bye bye.